Alright, so this is the next question, guys, from inequalities. You can pause the video and give it a try, and then you can resume for the solution. Now, inequalities is a very important chapter when it comes to CAT. If you're not very much comfortable with this topic, I suggest you to check out this course where I've explained inequalities and all other concepts in great depth, right from the basics up to the advanced level. Now coming to the question, all the values of x satisfying the inequality 1 upon x plus 5 less than equal to 1 upon 2x minus 3 are. One way of solving this is you go by the conventional approach. You try to frame inequalities and then solve them. So let's take 1 upon 2x minus 3 on the left hand side. I'm going to get 1 upon x plus 5 minus 1 upon 2x minus 3 should be less than or equal to 0. I'm just subtracting 1 upon 2x minus 3 from both sides. Now next step is we'll cross multiply. So 2x minus 3 will come above, minus of x plus 5 divided by, in the denominator we have x plus 5 into 2x minus 3, which should be less than equal to 0. Now guys, observe 2x minus x will basically give me an x, and minus of plus 5 will become minus here. So minus 3 minus 5 will be minus 8. We have x minus 8 in the numerator, and denominator will be x plus 5 into 2x minus 3 less than or equal to 0. And now we will use a very standard method that we have seen in many inequalities based questions, and that is the wavy curve method. What we do is we plot the roots of these three terms. X minus 8 will be 0 when x is equal to 8, x plus 5 will be 0 when x is minus 5, and 2x minus 3 will be 0 when x will be equal to 3 by 2. So we'll plot these three values in the ascending order on the real number line. So minus 5, 3 by 2 and 8. And now let's plot the nature of this expression. When we take the value of x greater than 8, let's say x is 9, this bracket is positive, and so is this bracket, and so is this bracket, right? So this entire expression will be positive. So I'll indicate it like this. Now we have a quick shortcut hereafter that we have studied in the inequalities chapter, guys. When the powers here are all odd, as we have the powers here as 1, there will be a sign change everywhere. So we have this and this and this. So negative, positive and negative. But you want this entire expression to be either less than or equal to 0. So x has to be less than minus 5, or x has to be between 3 by 2 and 8. Well, the expression can also be equal to 0. So x can also be equal to 8 for that matter. But x cannot be equal to 3 by 2 or minus 5. Why? Because if x is 3 by 2 or minus 5, the denominator here would become 0, and that is not acceptable. For any expression, the denominator is never 0. So x cannot be equal to 3 by 2 or x cannot be equal to minus 5. That means x has to be less than minus 5, or x has to be greater than 3 by 2 or less than equal to 8. This is very clearly our B option. Now the other way of solving the question is to use the options, right? Options B and C mean that x is less than equal to 8. So let's take the value of x greater than 8 and plug it into the given inequality. If x is greater than 8, suppose x was equal to 10. If you put x equal to 10 here, the left hand side will become 1 by 15 and the right hand side becomes 1 upon 2 10 20 minus 3, 17. 1 upon 15 we know is greater than 1 by 17. But we want the left hand side to be less than equal to the right hand side. That means x equal to 10 won't be an acceptable value of x, or x cannot be greater than 8. So that rules out the A option and the D option directly, because in the A and the D options, x has been mentioned as greater than 3 by 2. No, not acceptable. So my answer has to be either the B or the C options, right? The difference between the B and the C options is the B option tells us that x is less than minus 5 or x is between 3 by 2 and 8. The C option tells us that x is between minus 5 and 3 by 2 or between 3 by 2 or 8. So the difference of these two options is the left hand side, this particular part. The B option says x is less than minus 5. C option says x is between minus 5 and 3 by 2. Let's consider the C option for time being, this part. X is between minus 5 and 3 by 2. Between minus 5 and 3 by 2, one value I can take for x is 0. And when I do that, the left hand side becomes 1 upon 0 plus 5, that is 5. The right hand side will become 1 upon 2 into 0 minus 3, 1 upon minus 3, or simply minus 1 upon 3. Once again, we know that 1 by 5 is greater than minus 1 by 3, but we want the left hand side to be less than equal to the right hand side. So C option is not possible because x is equal to 0 is not an acceptable value of x. What we get is the correct answer only, that is option B by elimination. Right, so it's a very simple question. Once again, if you have not understood the concept properly, I request you guys to check out my course in the description. There I've explained this particular concept and its shortcut and a lot of other questions in great depth, starting from the basics to the advanced level.